Shalom, everybody. What's going on? All right. So I've been talking to people about Uriah and things like that. Last week, I've been leaving comments and posts and things like that on people's feed. I talked about this before, but also I've seen Aksamak Tazawa talk about this again on his Shabbat lesson. So I was like, man, that's a lot of signs. So what I'm gonna do is just take the sign and I'm gonna talk about it again and bring out the point that I was bringing out to the people that I was making comments about Uriah logic. You know, a lot of people have Uriah logic. So, but I'm titling this "Are We Friends?" with a question mark. Are we friends, or are we even friends? All right. So let's go into a little bit about Uriah and Dawad's, a little bit about their connection and things like that. There's not enough detail to understand where that very, very beginning was, or if they had a beginning when they were young. But I would just say, I'll give you what information I do have and tie in the pieces and kind of like give y'all um, that freedom to speculate along the lines. You know, what do you think, or whatever the case. So, I'm gonna start at Beit Shemuel, or Second Samuel, and I'm gonna go down to verse. We're gonna start at verse 2. All right, and it says this: And it came to pass in an evening tide, that Dawad arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house, and from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Already is telling you that Dawad, he's chilling, he gets up for whatever reason, and he walks on his roof. It's not like he had a phone call or anything like that. He just felt something. He gets up, he walks. Okay, and he's on his roof, and then he sees a woman. Now, with the missing details, you will assume or speculate that women are just washing themselves on the rooftops and stuff of their homes for any man to be able to see with a rooftop. Like, there's no privacy at all on the rooftop for her to be washing on the rooftop, and that was the very first time she ever washed on a rooftop, and she didn't know that people could see her. If that was a possible, that's like she was born yesterday, or she was that moment years old when she was washing on the rooftop, not expecting that someone could possibly see her. Like Dawad, his kingdom and his house was built. What is his name? Melik Haram, the king Haram of Palestine, built this house perfectly in the position and right height so that he can see Bathsheba's house. Like, no. So, excuse me. So it wasn't just like that's what he was looking for. It fell upon him. But we'll get into that in a minute, the details and stuff. Verse 3. And Dawad sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Verse 4. And Dawad sent messengers, and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned to her house. Now, what uncleanness did she have? Now, we can speculate on that. Her uncleanness could have been anything. But the assumption is that she was on her period, and she came off her period, so she was purified from her uncleanness. That's an assumption, and that's a speculation, but we don't want to go too far. Just to let you know that there are things going on in this story that needs details. Like, what was she unclean about? What was happening with her uncleanness, and what was going on here? Verse 5. And the woman conceived, and sent and told Dawad, and said, I am with child. Verse 6. And Dawad sent to Joab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to Dawad. So there's a lot of time in between here. Another speculation is that when Dawad went in unto her, she was unclean. And so once the seed of copulation situation was gone, she was clean and purified from her uncleanness of the seed of copulation. So it could have been that, or it could have been just she was on her period or whatever, and she just got off. But the way the story goes, and Dawad sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness. So it could have been that she had a period, or he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness. It could have been anything, could have been anything. So I don't want to go overdo it. The way the context goes is that he lay with her because she was unclean, not afterwards. So we'll keep it there. And the woman conceived and sent and told the wife and said, I am with child. So there's more time in between for you to know that you were conceived. And the wife sent Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to the wife. So that's more time to go get Uriah, and then more time to get Uriah back. All right, so it's a lot of time in between here. Verse 7. And when Uriah was come unto him, the wife demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. Now, these people you have to read about. I'm not going to go into detail about Joab. I'm not going to go into detail about too much about Uriah. We're going to get to the point right now, because this is a highlight of Dawad's life that everybody hones in on. But these key people, they're like, they were in his life before. So that's why he's asking about certain people like Joab, and Uriah is close to him. They were there in his youthful time, in his youth days, before he was anointed and things like that. So these were key players. Verse 8. And the wife said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. So he left, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. Now, what could that mean? That could mean food, or it could have been temptations. We don't want to over speculate. We don't want to assume that Dawad had a mind to want to do that, But in this situation, it could have been possible, but we don't want to speculate that. But it said a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. So he must have just I'm not gonna overdo it, but he could have just ate and then slept there at the door. But whatever the reason, he did not go to his house. That's the point we're getting at, right? So not to speculate, let's get to the point. And Dawad said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house. But verse 9, but Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. All right, verse 10. And when they had told the wife, saying, Uriah went not down to his house, the wife said to Uriah, came you not from your journey? Why then did you not go down to your house? You know what I'm saying? Even no matter what the case may have been, when you come back home, you stop home. Like when you come back in the city, you stop home. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how long you got. You don't know you don't know what's going on. You stop at home. See your wife. Things like that. Or go to your home where your stuff is at. Now, I can also understand the mind of Uriah as well, that you could feel some kind of way, like you calling me for no reason out of the war, and my brothers are at war, so I don't want to be like, you see what I'm saying? I can understand both mindsets. But whatever the case, he's like, why you ain't go home? You came from your journey, why you not go there? Verse 11, and Uriah said to Dawad, the ark of Israel and Yehuda abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into my house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and as your soul live, I will not do this thing. Now, what do we know about the story going in? We know that Uriah is saying all of this stuff. He turned on everything that he said except for the one thing: lie with my wife. The one thing he did not do out of all that he said was lie with his wife. All right. So he said, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into my house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and as your soul live, I will not do this thing. Verse 12, and Dawad said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let you depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. Verse 13, and when Dawad had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but went not down to his house. All right, so we okay. We know we let's not look at the story from we knowing that Dawad is setting them up. Okay, we know, all right, that Dawad is setting them up, but we also know that the people that are writing this or scribing this also know that Dawad set them up. We also know that people was setting Dawad up, like they was trying to forbid him from being the king. Certain peoples that didn't like him, or whatever the case, that were well versed in the Torah, like politicians and stuff. They were well versed in the Torah, and they were trying to make a claim that he was a Moabite. He was from a Moabite blood, so he couldn't be the king. So it was a lot of stuff going on. They needed Shemuel, to speak on behalf for the whole kingdom, so that Dawad could get the pass, so that he can be the king. So it was a lot of stuff going on here. So whatever the case, we see with this situation here, we see how much Uriah is tarrying with Dawad. He's spending a lot of time with Dawad, chilling, eating and drinking, but he's not going to his wife's house. Now, my thing is, what kind of relationship? Everybody's question is, what is Bathsheba's word and saying all of this? Nobody has heard from Bathsheba the whole entire story. No matter how many times you talk about this story, you never hear about Bathsheba. Like, what is her MO? You know what I'm saying? Oh, here's the king, so you can speculate that, but really, what is the case with her? We never hear from her. So we can't really fully blame or put the blame on Dawad, and then you say, oh, we're gonna stone Dawad, but then you don't stone Bathsheba. So adultery is takes two to tango. So, let's not overdo it on Dawad and not, look at Bathsheba, but also we must look at Uriah a little bit closely, which is what we're about to do. All right. So we must look at it from, we're not reading the story as we know what's happening. We must read the story as no one knows what's happening. And this is what Dawad is doing with him. So is it not funny that you would not go to your wife's house? You don't know what's going on yet, right? So, and when Dawad had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but went not down to his house. Verse 14, and it came to pass in the morning that Dawad wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, set you Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire you from him, that he may be smitten and die. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah into a place where he knew that valiant men were, and so on and so forth. And so they moved back, and he died. He got pierced through with arrows. But let's continue. Like, something is not right here. So let's go into Legends of the Yehudim. All right, Legends of the Yehudim. And we're going to go. All right. This is Legends of the Yehudim. What part is this? This is the part about Bathsheba. All right, I forgot what it was titled, but this is an excerpt, and it says this. All right, Dawad's thinking and planning were wholly given to what is good and noble. He is one of the few pious men over whom the evil inclination had no power. Now, that's another thing too, to look at or to notice. Evil inclination had no power over him. Meaning you're not a human, or you're not a person in earth that has this temptation or inclination to want to do wrong. In your heart, you always have a good intention, no matter where you go, what you do. Now, that's one thing I can say I've always had ever since I was little. Every big kids, little kids, grown-ups, no matter where I was, I always had an inclination or an intention that was good. I always meant well. I always looking to obey or to do what someone was saying. I never had an inclination to do wrong. Like I'm just sitting still, I'm thinking of some evil shit to do. I never had that inclination. All right. Things had to be set up, or stages had to be set in order for somebody to trap me up in a situation. But then I had to apologize later because it wasn't in my mind to do it. But when I realized it was something, then I had to apologize or make my wrong right or something like that. It wasn't that I was just like, yeah, I just want to do this because this is me. Like, no. So he didn't have evil inclination. The evil inclination had no power over him. All right. By nature, he was not disposed to commit such evil doing as his relation to Bathsheba involved. All right. Elohim himself brought him to his crime, that he might say to other sinners, go to Dawad and learn how to repent. So there's many things that the Most High is now looking at Dawad to do to him, not just because of this, but because a lot of stuff, even from the very beginning, what we're going to get to, how Bathsheba ended up with Uriah. So the Most High started thinking what he was going to do to Dawad because of the very beginning. All right, so I'm gonna use this as a multi-purpose or multi-educational lesson here. So one of them was so to teach people how to repent. You know, you do something wrong, you have to be broken up. But how do you be broken up? How do you actually apologize and make right your wrongs and stuff like that? Versus take it to your grave. You know what I'm saying? You want to cover your tracks. You don't want nobody to know shit. You always stealthy and shit. Instead of that type shit, you know, open up, be broken, be vulnerable, be meek, have humility, weakness, be meek and weak. All right. So it said, go to Dawad and learn how to repent. Nor indeed may Dawad be charged with gross murder and adultery. There were extenuating circumstances. In those days, it was customary for warriors to give their wives bills of divorce. Now, saying here, it's not fully like he was just like straight out committing adultery. Like, yeah, I know this is my man, wife, but I'm going bop, bop, bop. When you're going to war, you give your wife a get. All of the men that are going out to war, they give their wives gets. Meaning physical war where guns and knives and bullets type shit, bloodshed. Not no spiritual, mental ass war where you just sit next to your wife watching YouTubes and y'all just mental and shit, waiting for some metaphysical activity to happen and shit. No, that doesn't count. Y'all still chilling, eating and drinking. That's not war. That's a piece of war. That's metaphysical energy, the energy part of war. It's not the physical part where you can physically die. All right, even though you can metaphysically die, but still, ain't nobody shooting nobody, so there's no reason to file for a bill of divorce or to file for a get. Now, but in the case where you do have physical war, you must file a get because you might not return. So it was frequent. So again, there were extenuating circumstances. In those days, it was customary for warriors to give their wives bills of divorce, to give their wives gets, which were to have validity only if the soldier husbands did not return at the end of the campaign. All right. So, yes, it was like she was always divorced or always uncertain if he would come back. But that's every man in war. Your husband might not come back, and so who's she going to go to? You know what I'm saying? She's going to be without, you know? So again, Uriah having fallen in battle, Bathsheba was a regularly divorced woman. As for the death of her husband, it cannot be laid entirely at Dawad's door. For Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. So that's why I was saying it's a two-way street here. So he did truly have an offense. Dawad had a true offense that was from the Most High. So it wasn't energy. The offense that Dawad had towards Uriah was from the Most High. At the same time, the Most High had an offense towards Dawad. But it wasn't just at this point. It was at the very beginning. All right. But yes, we go here because you have a wife. You're spilling your seed somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go out your way to spill your seed, then go to your wife. It's not like your wife is running from you. She don't want to see you. She got you on child support. F you. You can't see the children. It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's different here. So yes, Uriah had the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? It was incurred. Again. It cannot be laid entirely at Dawad's door, for Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. So the Most High already was going to get rid of him. He incurred the death penalty already. So the Most High was going to get rid of him, according to the king's bidding. Moreover, from the first, Bathsheba had been destined by Elohim for Dawad, but by way of punishment for having lightly promised Uriah the Hittite and Israelitish woman to wife, in return for his aid in unfastening the armor of the prostrate Goliath, the king had to undergo bitter trials before he won her. So what's going on here? That's what I'm telling you. You have to look at this from... Give me a minute. You have to look at this from both the spiritual, the metaphysical, and the physical. You have to. Because there's too much crazy shit going on in this situation. It's too heavy of a situation. Now let's go to the part, and then we're gonna bring it back. All right, so further up, when you go to the story of Goliath, after he slew Goliath, he had no difficulty in dispatching him. Goliath was encased from top to toe in several suits of armor, and Dawud did not know how to remove them and cut off the head of the giant. At this juncture, Uriah the Hittite offered him his services, but under the condition that Dawud secure him an Israelitish wife. Dawud accepted the condition, and Uriah in turn showed him how the various suits of armor were fastened together at the heels of the giant's feet. Now, question. All right, there's one situation where if Dawud would have promised him a wife, if he helped him, but Uriah came out of nowhere and was like, he just came out of nowhere and said it, like, I'll help you if you give me a wife, but if you ain't gonna give me no wife, the Israelite's wife, I can't help you, man, I can't help you. Now, who knew if it was jokingly or not? But the Most High was mad at Dawud for taking it lightly. Like, he just took it as a little light thing, like it didn't mean anything. And he was like, all right, okay, or whatever. I'll give you an Israelite's wife when I become king. And so he helped him. You shouldn't have to, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to. What made Uriah come up to Dawud and be like, before he came up to him, he's looking at Dawud like, dang, he slew him, but he don't know how to get the armor off. So you already feeling some kind of way. I mean, I'm thinking that's a speculation, right? You feeling some kind of way. Why would you say it? Unless it was a joke, but there's truth in jokes. So he's feeling some kind of way. He come up to him, I'll help you, So that's what he said. At this juncture, Uriah the Hittite offered him his services. I'll help you. So he offered to help, but under the condition, you know what I'm saying, that Dawud secure him an Israelite's wife. So why would you even come to help him if you're going to make him promise you something? And what if he just said no? Nah, I can't do that, man. Nah. Would he still have helped him? Or would he not? Why would you say that? Why did you do that? So Uriah, there was already something about Uriah, how he felt towards Dawud. Something was going on. Now, like I said, it could have been a joke, but still, why would you joke like that? You in the middle of war, why you playing like that? But I'll leave it in the open. So bring it back. So because of that, right? I'll help you, Dawud, get this armor off of Goliath. He didn't help him kill Goliath. He just said, I don't know how to take this man's armor off. Was he supposed to know how? But Uriah was like, how you know how to take it off? I'll help you take it off of him if you give me a wife. But I didn't ask you for your help. You came up here and helped me. So, you see what I'm saying? But Bathsheba was supposed to belong to Dawud. So let's bring it back. All right, so Uriah, so let's take it back to, Uriah having fallen in battle, Bathsheba was a regularly divorced woman. As for the death of her husband, it cannot be laid entirely at Dawud's door, for Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. So you're a Hittite. Did you really love your Israelitish wife? Or did you not? You're a Hittite. Did you have Philistine tendencies? Were you partially gay? Did you have some kind of energy about you? What was going on with Uriah and Bathsheba? Why he didn't want to go to her house? What was going on? He's so boasting about he's honorable to the king. Why did you not listen to the king's, command to say, go to your house and this, that, and the third? And then at the same time, you're laying at King David's door. You're eating and drinking. You're drunk. You didn't invite your wife. You know what I'm saying? You're eating at the king's table. It's not like a private situation. You're eating at the king's table. People are there. You know what I'm saying? You could have went and he could have invited your wife, whatever the case. Brought your wife with you. Now you at the king's table eating. You drunk. but you with your wife. Then after you drunk, you go to home to your wife and you ease yourself and your wife. Instead, you went to the armor bearer's spot. You went to went to where the guys was at and eased yourself. You know, for Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. So there's a double offense here. It's a double offense. So it kind of canceled itself out. But because Dawad went further to, get him murdered or get him killed, that's why Dawad got in trouble. But it would have balanced itself out if Dawad didn't take that extra step, to write a letter to say, sit him at the front and get him killed. But because he took that extra step to do that, he got in trouble for that with the Most High. He should have just let the Most High take him because the death penalty was already upon him. All right. So instead of putting him on blast, he just like, I'm going to just get rid of you because it's a death penalty. So in Israel, it must be that serious about your wives. If you have a wife, why are you masturbating? If you have a wife, why are you massaging yourself? If you have a wife. If you don't have a wife, understandable. You don't have a wife, so you got to ease yourself. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's disrespectful. It's the same situation with Tamar. You know what I'm saying? Not the Tamar with Amnon, but Tamar with Yehuda. And his two sons. One went, the first son went in, he didn't want to get her pregnant because his mother's advice. So he spills his seed on the ground and don't spill his seed inside of his wife. Then the second son, he got killed. The Most High killed him. You incurred the death penalty upon yourself. The Most High killed that man for not spilling his seed in his wife, for not busting hard as shit in your wife. Bust that shit in your wife hard. Legs all the way to the back. Damn. Bust it. But he didn't. He spilled the seed on the ground. He got to the climax, pulled out, nutted on the ground and the sheets and shit. The second son of Yehuda, his wife told, him, don't go in unto her, because there was a enmity between the African women or the women of Canaan and the women of the Hebrew women, because ever since Sarah and Hagar, Sarai and Hagar, or Sarah and Hagar, as I call them. Ever since that, it was always an enmity between the African women and the Hebrew women. So she was like, don't go into that woman, because she was not liking Israelite women. So the second son listens to his mother. The fuck are you doing? Why is you laying in your son's marriage bed? You laying in your son's marriage bed saying don't bust a nut inside of her. So the second son, the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He getting it wet and all this. That mother yampy as shit. She yampy as shit. But they over there trying to, and then he busting on the ground, listening to his mother. Don't bust a nut inside of her. Even though that's your wife, don't bust a nut inside of her. Damn, you yampy as a bitch. Get yampy ass out of here. What is your problem? You hating these Israelites as women that bad that you don't want this woman to get pregnant by her husband? Is that serious? You know what I'm saying? So the second son does the same thing. Listens to his yampy ass mother, busts his nut on the ground, and not inside of his brother's wife, his dead brother's wife. And so he dies too. Uriah the Hittite, same situation. Because you're a mixed breed, that mixed breed blood type shit can get crazy. If you're not with the Most High, it can get crazy. For Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. You went to the armor bearer's spot. That's crazy. So, according to the king's bidding. So the king told him, go to your wife's house. Go to your wife's house. Because, you horny. You could be horny, you drunk, all that side. Instead of go to your wife's house, you go to the men. Go into the spot where the men at. Bust a nut. Where all these men around you. And don't go to your wife. Your wife ain't got you on child support. She ain't divorced you. She ain't run from you. You know what I'm saying? You can hit her up. You get your own house. She in there. You know what I'm saying? She ain't run from you or nothing. You just not going there. Moreover, from the first, Bathsheba, meaning not just that, the offense, but also Bathsheba had been destined by Elohim, by the Most High, already had destined it. So for you to understand this part, you have to be metaphysically minded. So if the Most High is saying from the first, it's something going on way before mankind here. Because you can't say the Most High just all of a sudden was like, oh, at this point in time in your human history, I destined it for you to be with Bathsheba. No, I destined for you to be with Bathsheba way before Earth. That was Bathsheba and Melech the Wise was supposed, they were together before Earth. But when they got into Earth, it was for them to come back together. Elohim destined that. He destined that. So in order for the Most High to look at the man and be like, it's his destiny. It's his destiny to be with Bathsheba. It's your destiny? Damn. It's my destiny. Imagine that. I walk up to a girl. I love you so much. It's my destiny for me to be, like, what the fuck? It's my destiny. Like, man, why you all on me? It's my destiny. I'm destined to be with, you know what I'm saying? Imagine me saying that to a woman out of nowhere. Oh, it's my destiny that I met you today. If you're saying this, see what I'm saying? But it's true. Some women and some men were always destined to be together because you were always together from the beginning. That's what that's what I keep saying about Kylie. It's my destiny to be with Kylie. And why would I say that? Because of the details that you don't know. The details that you don't know. All right? She know that it's her destiny, and she know that it's my destiny that we be together. But we could be like this. We could alter our destiny some kind of way by being light about shit or not paying attention, not giving real attention to something, and we could overlook something and then miss our destiny or have to get back to our destiny a funny, stupid way. But we in trouble at the same time. So here it is. Like I said, moreover, from the first, Bathsheba had been destined by Elohim, Yah, the Most High, for Dawad, but by way of punishment for having lightly promised. So it was a punishment for being light. Be like, just because Uriah helped, oh, give me an Israelite's wife. Help them with the armor and stuff. Like, oh, you killed Goliath, but you don't know how to get the armor off. Man, I'll help you with that armor if you give me a wife. Israelites' wife. Oh, all right. Yeah, I got you. I want Bathsheba. Oh, that's cool. Nothing. Yeah, you can get Bathsheba. The Most High was mad, so he punished them. What the fuck? How you just gonna lightly, this random ass smandom guy come out of nowhere after you done killed this man? It ain't like he hopped out there like, I got your back, David. I got your back. It wasn't like he was like, I got your back. I got your back. I'm right here. And he trying to help him kill him and, the fear and all of that shit. He was nowhere to be found. After the Goliath is dead, give me a wife. I'll help you with the armor. What? Like, he just wasn't thinking like, who the fuck is you? Like, where you come from? Why you ain't offer your services before? Like, when I was really trying to figure out how to get this man. You standing in the background. Why you ain't pop out of nowhere? You know what I'm saying? You know how to get the armor off. You should have knew how to kill the man. I'm over here risking my life and shit. Your ass way in the background want to pop up later. You know what I'm saying? Trying to tell me how to get the armor off. So, but by way of punishment for having lightly promised Uriah the Hittite, an Israelitish woman, to wife, in return for his aid in unfastening the armor of the prostrate Goliath, the king had to undergo bitter trials before he won her. So like I said, the Most High played it funny. He played it funny. All right. So let's get to the other parts. Furthermore, the Bathsheba episode was a punishment for Dawad's excessive self-consciousness. He had fairly besought Elohim to lead him into temptation that he might give proof of his constancy. So also, it's multi-reasons here. Many reasons the Most High is taking advantage of this Bathsheba situation. He's punished for being light to just give her to Uriah, but he wasn't fully to blame because Uriah was he was in trouble. He was in guilt of the death penalty for not easing himself and his wife, because you didn't know that Dawad slept with your wife. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know that. but it was of your own self that you didn't want your wife already. So even though Dawad did what he did, nobody knew, but you at the same time didn't even want your own wife. So if you did that, and then Dawad would have went into your wife, it would have already told itself like, wow, you don't feel too bad. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I still feel bad because I did that before. You know what I'm saying? But if I'd have called this man here Uriah and he didn't want to go to his wife or ease himself and his wife, but you want to get drunk and have, parties and eat at my spot, and then go into the alms bearer spot and ease yourself and not go to, you know what I'm saying? I would have felt completely, guiltless. The death penalty would have been upon him, but it would have been easy. You see what I'm saying? It's just, it played backwards and shit like that. But also because he was not supposed to give Bathsheba to him. So it's a lot of factors here. Also, he was punished for his excessive, for Dawad's excessive self-conscious, like he wanted the Most High to prove him of, of his constancy, that he was faithful to him. All right. It came about thus. He once complained to Elohim, "O Lord, O Master of the world, why do people say Elohim of Abraham, Elohim of Yitzchak, and Elohim of Yaakov, and why not Elohim of Dawad?" So that's something I couldn't see myself saying. But in the times they were living in, you always under the Torah. All you know is the Torah. There's no America. It's hard to do wrong. I can see how you could be a little bit brave, but I couldn't see myself. Well, I guess the time that I'm living in, I can't see myself saying that. I'm gonna just say that it's the time that I can't. I would never say prove my, my constancy. I only asked the Most High I wanted to prove to the Most High if I could be, not if, but I wanted to prove to the Most High that I can be a good father and a good husband. That's all I wanted to prove. I want to be a good father and a good husband, to prove to you that I can do what you ask me. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, because that's the first command ever given to mankind. So I want to prove that I can do what you say, what you ask of me already. What you ask of me is what I want to prove that I can do. But when you have many women that are already not sought forth the kingdom of heaven, or they game players, they're not, their piety and intentions are not good, they have evil inclination, they're not in the right space. So the women that I've been given have never been women ready and capable to even help me complete this task in my life. And this, what I'm trying to prove, a good husband, you just want a child support scam type shit. So it's like, damn, the fuck. So whatever the case, it's a little bit different, but I said something like that to the Most High, which is why I'm still alive. I wanted to prove that I can be a good husband and a good father, So the answer came, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were tried by me, but you have not yet been proved. Dawad entreated, then examine me, O Master, and try me, O Elohim. Try me. And Elohim said, I shall prove you, and I shall even grant you what I did not grant the patriarchs. I shall tell you beforehand that you will fall into temptation through a woman. And not just saying like you'll fall into temptation through a woman just willy-nilly. You're going to fall into temptation through a woman because I'm still feeling some kind of way about you just giving Bathsheba to Uriah just because this man popped out of nowhere after you killed the giant. Now you want to pop up and offer his services. And you were so light about it, like, damn, you ain't feel no kind of way or nothing. You wasn't like, hey man, where was you at when I was out here in the front? You wasn't feeling no kind of way or nothing. But when he popped up to help you, in fact, then you know what I'm saying? So it was Most High feeling some kind of way about that. He said, well, you're going to fall into temptation through a woman. This, that, and the third. So it came to pass, once Shaitan appeared to him in the shape of a bird. So now this is the moment where Dawad he leaves his bed, he's walking walking out, and he sees Bathsheba on the rooftop bathing. All right, that's where this is at. Once Shaitan appeared to him in the shape of a bird. Okay, in the shape of a bird? Dawad threw a dart at him. Instead of striking Shaitan, it glanced off and broke a wicker screen, which hid Bathsheba combing her hair. All right. So my thing is, did Dawad know that the Shaitan was in the bird? Because why would you out of nowhere just throw a dart at a bird? Like, you see a bird, you want to throw a dart at him. Did you know it was Shaitan in the bird? So I don't want to speculate that either, but he could have knew that Shaitan was in the bird. So he threw a dart at the bird. Instead of striking Shaitan, it glanced off and broke a wicker screen. So was he trying to hit? Was he trying to strike Shaitan? Or was he trying to strike a bird? So it said instead of striking Shaitan, so did he know he was trying to? Because the writers knew that it was Shaitan and the bird. So did Dawah say that it was Shaitan and the bird for them to write this? See what I'm saying? So instead of striking Shaitan, it glanced off and broke a wicker screen. So now the Most High is even more mad. He's even more mad that you knew that Shaitan was in the bird, but you ain't know that Bathsheba was your destiny. Bathsheba, she's my destiny. I can't give you the Israelitish woman Bathsheba, shorty, like that. She's my destiny. I'm destined. It's my fate. You saying? You got to be all that. I'm destined to be with her. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so he broke a wicker screen which hid Bathsheba combing her hair. So it wasn't initially that he was just seeing some woman bathing herself or combing her hair, whatever the case. He was, Shaitan, the Most High let Shaitan lead him into realizing that Bathsheba is his one. So after he did that, right, it was the moment where you just chilling, you see Bathsheba combing her hair, right? The sight of her aroused passion in the king. Why? Out of all moments, this is the moment. Why? The Most High did this to him as a punishment because you lightly gave her to Uriah. So now you're burning. You burn like a motherfucker. Men can't yamp. But women they yamp, but men can't yamp. But he's burning, shorty. He feels some kind of way, and passion arose in him. Was it passion or was it lust? I'm trying to tell you that this was a special moment the Most High was preparing him for. You will fall into temptation. What kind of temptation? Like lust, or would you recognize something and then you would desire this one? Excuse me. Would you desire this one from recognizing something? Because he doesn't have the inclination of evil. Excuse me. Sorry, the hiccup. He doesn't have an inclination of evil regularly or normally. So what was this special moment? So since he tried to hit Shaitan, did he miss Shaitan and Shaitan hit him with a dart? Like, you missed me. Gotcha. Look at Bathsheba, beautiful, or whatever the case. But it was like, dang, it's a woman. But instead of hold himself, did he notice her? Did he notice her? Was this the first time Dawah ever noticed Bathsheba? Like, really notice who she was? Did he remember her? You saw Shaitan and the bird at this moment. Right? Because it said that. You saw Shaitan and the bird. You threw a dart at him. Instead of striking Shaitan, you see what I'm saying? So knowing you're metaphysically inclined at this moment. Because you got off your bed in the middle of your sleep. You got off your bed. So you metaphysically inclined. You hit the wicker screen, missing the bird. Or rather, missing Shaitan that's in the bird. And then it showed Bathsheba combing her hair. And at the sight of her, did you see something that you never seen before? Because you gave her to Uriah at all these other times. So you already knew who she was. Because in order for you to give her to Uriah, the promise or whatever, you had to know who Uriah was. Because Uriah said, you got to give me an Israelitish woman to marry. So he chose the woman, Bathsheba. So we met Bathsheba before. But out of all times, this is the time where your eyes opened up. The sight of her aroused passion in the king at this moment. You realize who she was. Oh, snap. I remember her. That's you saying? You got metaphysically inclined, spiritually inclined, where you had memories. You remembered something. David realized his transgression. How you realize your transgression? You ain't do nothing yet. You just saw her and you realize your transgression? Right, he realized. She's my destiny. And for 22 years, he was a penitent. Daily he wept the whole hour and ate his bread with ashes. 22 years? But he had to undergo still heavier penance. For a half year he suffered with leprosy. What the fuck is going on here? He realized who she was. The Most High hit his ass. Shaitan hit him. Bow. Hit. Ah. Bathsheba, my destiny. I forgot. I came to earth and I forgot. My bad. So 22 years, ain't no woman that fucking beautiful that you fucked up for 22 years. Or even like, ain't no woman that beautiful that a half year you suffered with leprosy, and even the Sanhedrin, which usually was in close personal attendance upon him, had to leave him. He lived not only in physical but also in spiritual isolation, for the Shekinah departed from him during that time. Well, was it the time after he did the passionate act with her? Or was it during that time where the wicker screen broke? The sight of her aroused passion in the king. So, am I missing some pieces here? Or did it go from the sight of her, him realizing that's my destiny, she's my wife? Sorry, she's my wife. I had to do a screenshot. She's my wife. I remember her from before I was born. We was supposed to come back together. It was destined for us to come back together. I fucked up. I wasn't thinking. I let Uriah the Hittite trick my ass into giving him a wife to help me with the armor, not realizing he wasn't there to help me kill the man. So that's probably another reason why he wrote the letter. Send this man to the front. Because I just remembered. All of this stuff is coming before him now. He remembered who Bathsheba was. He's spiritually inclined. Now he's thinking like, well, maybe Uriah was always all along just there to like, from Shaitan to block me and stuff. He's thinking all of this stuff because you won't even go to your wife to ease yourself in her. Did you just get her just to block her from me? Did you know who she was before I did? All this stuff start to play in your mind. Because you can't look at things just physically. It's a story playing. It's a story that we're living here. A heaven war is still going on. So things are continuing from heaven to earth, or from heaven and earth mixed together. Things are continuing. You're just not doing stuff just to do stuff. So as his story playing out, his personal story is playing out as well. So Uriah and Dawad had some kind of connection. Where Uriah was, you know what I'm saying? He was deceptive. I think Uriah had to have something about him. You come into Dawad to help him get the armor off at the promise of a wife, or else you're not going to help him get the armor off Goliath. You wasn't there when he killed him. You just saw him kill him. Then you want to help him with an offer. That was disrespectful as shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, damn, you're thinking like, damn, this man always running from brave shit. Why would you? So you start thinking about that later on. Man, send this man to the front. You thinking that. Yeah, you wrong for doing that. Should have let the Most High take his life. You know what I'm saying? But you got to balance, because Uriah wouldn't spill his seed in his own wife. So he already had a death penalty upon himself for not having a passion towards his own wife. And he would rather spill his seed on the ground than spill his seed inside of his wife. What kind of person are you? So it's all the double standard. It's a neutralized situation. It's a balance here. So he didn't die for that. Bathsheba, maybe she did know something about Uriah. Something was going on with Uriah, but you never hear her speaking. Her part of the story is not there. That would probably clarify a whole lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? If we knew her side. So we can't properly judge Melech Dawad. We can't properly judge him. We can only speculate on the little bit that we do know. Until we get Bathsheba's side. What kind of husband was he? I don't know. This nigga never came to the house. Like, he came back. They was like, yeah, your husband back. I'm like, no, where the fuck is he at? You saying, yeah, he back. He just like, yeah, he drunk. Drunk? Where he drunk at? The fuck is he drunk with? He was at the party. What party? Why you ain't invite me to the fucking party? You know what I'm saying? What party was he at? David's party. He drunk and all that shit. He came out there with some girls trying to holler at him, but he was like, nah. And he slept at the doorstep and shit. At the doorstep? What doorstep? David's doorstep. So why the fuck he ain't come home? I don't know. Nah. Girls talking, the women talking and shit. Yeah, he wouldn't talk to me, but he wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, dad, go to your wife, girl. What you doing? He went to the alms bearer spot and went to sleep in there. Found out he eased himself in there. What did you do? Like, you went into the room, you went into the area where the armor bearers are, and you was like, yeah, and then bust a nut. You know what I'm saying? What did you see? What was you feeling? What was you thinking? If you was that horny, your wife down the street, you that horny, you didn't go to your wife. He telling you to go to your wife. You like, nah. But you got to bust a nut, but you won't go to your wife. That's some evil ass shit. That doesn't cure the death. That's what I'll be telling people. I'll be telling women all the time. The same thing with women, the same thing with men. When you are married, it is your obligation to fulfill your marital duties. It is your obligation. Or it's your loving obligation. Regardless, it's an obligation. Whether you love to do it or you start falling out of passion. It is your obligation to do that. And when you don't do it, you incur the penalty of death upon yourself. Or otherwise, why the fuck is you wasting this person's time by marrying this person, but you're not, you know what I'm saying, exchanging passion with them? This could be the last moment you even be back in the town. You know what I'm saying? Go to your wife. Spend the last moment with her if this is your last moment. So Dwight just took it upon himself to make it the last moment. So it's crazy, yo. It's crazy. I do want to know what Bathsheba's part in this was, but I think she probably would be more intuitive in the situation to say that she would be more prophetically inclined to know that this was a metaphysical event. Because why would he come out of his bed to go to the rooftop to see her at this moment? It was a metaphysical situation happen. Stuff like that happens too, like sleepwalking type stuff. I remember that happened with me and Selena once, where Tanika had left me. I was in the basement and I was sleeping, but I was like sleepwalking. I got off the bed, but I was like sleepwalking. I was just coming up the stairs, and then I came to sit on the couch, you know, because I was like zoned out. I was part sleep, part not, you know, like having an episode or something like that. And I looked over and I saw Selena with no underwear on, no panties on, no underwear on. Her pussy is just wide in my face, drizzling down. You see what I'm saying? But I was in my mind enough to refuse or whatever the case, but I wasn't in my mind enough to realize that this was the Most High talking to me. You know what I'm saying? But because I wanted to do things the right way, like I wanted to take the Mordecai route with my cousin Selena. That's what I was more so looking at. I wanted to take the Mordecai route. You know? So, not the Sarah and Abraham route. So, sorry, not Sarah Abraham, Rebecca and Yitzchak, because their ages were far apart, but they were cousins and they married each other. So I didn't want to take the Ribka or the Rebecca and Yitzchak route or Isaac route. I wanted to take the Mordecai and Hadassah route with my cousin. So that's why I didn't, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I can kind of attest to this. Like, it's not necessarily that you're always down to earth when situations. When your eyes are open, you see things that you did not see before. Memories come back to you when you're metaphysically inclined, or when heaven bows itself. You know what I'm saying? Because why would he wake up out of nowhere to walk on the porch? It was something touching him. You know, he wasn't filled with passion or temptation at that moment until he hit the wicker screen. So the Most High was speaking with him in some kind of way. And this was his moment to fall into temptation for the woman that he was he was destined to be with anyway. All right, so that's something that everybody need to look at, man. Just things you just need to notice, the small things you need to notice. You know, so you see her combing her hair. Did she know to be right there at that moment combing her hair? The sight of her aroused passion in the king. Dawad realized his transgression. How did you seeing a woman comb her hair and now you realize your transgression? It wasn't your fault that was it? You know, that you trying to hit a bird, you hit the wicker screen of somebody else thing. Oh snap, I realized my transgression. I broke that window. I ain't got no money, shorty. I can't pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Or did he realize she was his destiny? He was destined to be with her. And for 22 years, he was a penitent. Daily, he wept a whole hour and ate his bread with ashes. From the moment he saw her, he's like fucked up. You realizing this is my wife from before I was born, and now I'm fucked up on earth about it. I'm realizing so much shit that I'm 22 years, I'm penitent. I'm every day eating my bread with ashes and shit. This is my whole fucking wife. I got memories and shit. But he had to undergo still heavier penance. For a half year, he suffered with leprosy. Now this man leprous for seeing her. I'm losing my color and everything. The Most High punished him. punished the shit out of him for not realizing she was his destiny. And you just willy-nilly gave her to Uriah the Hittite, all because he popped up out of nowhere, metaphysically inclined, I'm believing. I'm going to just go for the metaphysical. He metaphysically inclined. You killed a giant. So his eyes open. Uriah's eyes are open. He realized the wild is someone. He's the one. I'm going to make a promise. Shaitan is talking to him. I'm going to make a promise. Come out there. I'll help you if you give me a wife. I'll help you with the armor. With Aksumach in my situation, I didn't ask for a wife. He offered Sister Keisha to me. That's how that happened. Sister Keisha is a 14-year-old little girl. I'm not looking at her in no other kind of way, except she's a little girl in the church, the assembly, trying to learn of the Most High. Then, I guess willy-nilly, he said out of nowhere, he offered her to me. And I said, I'll wait for her. And so, okay, I'm not taking him like he was joking or something. He was serious. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said he promised me a wife, but never delivered. I didn't ask for anything. So my situation is a little bit different, but for a half year he suffered with leprosy, and even the Sanhedrin, which usually was in close personal attendance upon him, had to leave him because he fucked up. The Most High is fucking him up. He lived not only in physical, but also in spiritual isolation. Why spiritual isolation? For the Shekinah departed from him during that time. Because the spirit connects to the physical connects to the spirit, there's no reason for you to be metaphysically fucked up. There's no reason for your energy to be fucked up to the point where you getting leprosy, you can't eat and shit. Unless the physical moment, the physical encounter you had was the moment you realized this woman was your wife. She was your destiny to be with her be back with her on earth. Why I keep telling Kylie the same shit? This is like, we supposed to be together. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's my sister, but she's my wife, because what had happened and the memories in the bunker, and then I came out, crashed, cracked my head, I died, here she go, this is her, we in flight together, and shit, she popped her ankle and shit, I had to fix her ankle and shit. All this shit I'm saying is like, oh, she's my destiny and shit. She's my destiny. She's with Timothy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, money and fame fuck you up. But it's more so, I would say, not knowing what to do, because all you ever known was money and fame. So what I'm going to do now? Go to school, go to college. So I think it's just a lot of shit can fuck you up and make you afraid to push shit off or shake shit off. But yeah, we were destined to be together. But you can refuse that. You can refuse it, and shit can start happening to you. Only when you realize it. So it was a moment. So, like I said, saw Bathsheba combing her hair. The sight of her aroused passion in the king. You realize at that moment. Trying to hit Satan in the bird. Oh, Satan is in the bird. I'm going to hit you. Instead of hit Satan in the bird, as everybody knew because it's written here, he realized that Bathsheba was his wife. And the Grandma Shekinah Glory was like, I'm leaving, because she was mad. You let a little nigga named Uriah take your wife, boy, I'm mad. Because they don't forget anything. We come to earth and we forget. The Grandma Shekinah Glory didn't forget. She had to depart from him during that time. And use the punishment, the adulterous situation, as an excuse to punish him for what him not remembering or for him taking it light. So yeah, you can't take marriage lightly. Adultery is a sin worthy of death, right? If adultery is a sin worthy of death, also not noticing shit, not realizing shit, or not listening, no matter if you in earth, before earth, no matter the case, you must listen, must gravitate. When you don't it's all of that, man. Because, and it's just too much I can say about this situation here. But as far as the actual physical encounters and stuff, I would like to get Bathsheba's side so we can put the physical pieces back, put the physical pieces together properly. But it's pretty much a done deal when you saw where so taking it back down. For Uriah had incurred the death penalty by his refusal to take his ease in his own house. So that's a matter that he had against the Most High. So you were, I'm not going to my wife, man. I would not do that. Instead, you would bust a nut somewhere else and not bust a nut inside your wife, according to the king's bidding. And like I said, moreover, from the first, Bathsheba had been destined by Elohim for Dawad. So that's why he went through all of this punishment. Through the adulterous situation happened the way it happened. The Most High put him in temptation and stuff like that. Because from the first, Bathsheba had been destined by Elohim for Dawad. So that should have never even been an adulterous situation. It should have never been a situation. Because he's supposed to have been with Bathsheba. But this random Uriah came out of nowhere and was like, yo, I'm going to help you with the armor if you give me a wife. Why you ain't come out there help me with the man? Help me kill this nigga. You gonna come out of nowhere about some fucking armor and shit. So, but by way of punishment for having lightly promised Uriah the Hittite, an Israelitish woman to wife. So he knew Bathsheba because he promised him a wife. Here's the woman I promised you, Bathsheba. In return for his aid in unfastening the armor of the prostrate Goliath, the king had to undergo bitter trials before he won her. So, won her. See what I'm saying? So you fucked up. You realized who she was. You fucked up by giving her to Uriah from the first when she was supposed to be to you because it was your destiny to be with her, meaning you was already married to her. But when you got to earth, it was your destiny to come back together again. But you fucked up your destiny in some kind of way. And by giving it to Uriah, after he popped up after the Goliath is dead already, he already prostrate on the ground, dead. He popped up out of nowhere. I'm going to help you if you give me a wife. You did that. So now you had to go through a lot of bullshit, bitter trials before you won her back. Bitter trials. That's how sensitive marriage is to the Most High. You can't play with each other's hearts and stuff. Stop playing with each other's one life to live. Stop playing with each other's heart spaces, feelings and emotions and shit. When somebody is looking for love, stop playing with that. See what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, there's a lot of shit's happening here. But I just wanted to bring that back out. And it's just, yeah, man. So now we can put this story together a little bit better. So we see verse 11 here, you know, Uriah is saying some stuff, man. Verse 11, and Uriah said to Dawad, the ark in Israel. So he's saying stuff. He didn't just like, when Dawad told him to go to your wife, or whatever the case, and wash yourself, wash your feet and stuff like that, or whatever the case, and probably said, invite your wife to the party and stuff. More stuff could have been said. But instead, he said, whoa. And Uriah said to Dawad, the ark in Israel and Yehuda abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into my house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife as you live and as your soul lives? I will not do this thing. So what is that sounding like? It sounds like you love the king more than you love your wife, that you would not go and spend time with your wife, but rather you'll spend time with the king. Maybe he's afraid. Maybe he's scared. But the king directly told you to go to your wife, so why would you be afraid? Listen to the king's order, right? And Dawad said to Uriah, tarry here, okay, wait here, today also, and tomorrow. So stay here today, and stay here tomorrow. I will let you depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. Sorry about the disrespectful people. So he abode that day in Jerusalem and the morrow. He didn't go to his wife that day or the next day. He stayed away. So you like, the girls is like, yeah, Uriah, he just chill out in the city, hanging out, shopping and shit, drinking and eat, chilling. Yo, you got a whole, I'm hungry. Where you eating at? Eating at your favorite spot. What? Where you eating at? KFC on EBT? KFC on EBT? When they do EBT on KFC? When they do that? Y'all don't know, but he over there eating at KFC on EBT. What? And I ain't got, you know what I'm saying? you paint it however. You just like, yo, what is he doing? He at your favorite spot. He at the L spot. He at the L spot. He's drinking L without me. So he's like, chilling today and tomorrow, chilling. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and tomorrow. And when Dawid had called them, he did eat and drink. So when Dawid called him, he went and ate and drank before him. Instead of go to your wife and eat and drink, you ate and drink with Dawid, the king, and he made him drunk. So you drinking so much that you're not even recognizing that you getting drunk. And at even, he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, meaning at the armor bearer spot. And he eased himself and went not down to his house. So you had fun without your wife. You partied without your wife. You spent time with the king. You spent time with your brother soldiers. But you didn't love your wife enough to go spend time with her. Come on, yo. That's offensive. So he incurred the death penalty upon himself. That's why I keep saying he had gay tendencies. But that's a speculation. But come on now. What does any man in the world that's straight knows that, yo, if the king calling me home, I don't care, yo. Dang, well, yeah, you're right. I'm going to have sex with my wife soon as I get back. If he say I'm good, I'm going to, because you would too. You know what I'm saying? Bro, ain't no bros over hoes. It's my wife, shorty. It could be the last time I see her, I'm going in. I feel you. It's that's what I'm saying? And who's to say that he didn't already had children by Bathsheba? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say? So it's like, it's just crazy. But still, when Dawid had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even, he went out to lie on his bed with the servants, not his bed with his wife. So, how did that look? What did the place with the bed with the servants? How did that look? Did they have their own beds? Was it like a big, huge, giant bed they all huddled up on? Or just a sleeping area where they just camped out at and they huddled up under a fire somewhere? You know what I'm saying? And while they huddled up under the fire, somebody blew the fire out and then you eased yourself next to the guy. You eased yourself next to the soldiers or some shit. But went not down to your wife. So you laid up with the soldiers. But you're not laid up with your wife and you bust a nut. You ain't on child support. Your wife ain't leave you or nothing. And it came to pass in the morning that Dawid wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. Why? Because you incurred the death penalty upon yourself. But what he should have done was let it ride and let the Most High handle it, because the situation was already that he, had his wife. And yes, even though bill of divorces or gets are given to the wives when the men go out to war, just in case they don't come back, the get is activated. The divorce is activated when no husband doesn't come back, so that way she can go be another man's wife. But still, you came back, so go to your wife. So you not seeing your wife was saying you're good as dead or some shit. That's what it was like really saying. Like, well, I got a get from my wife, and if I go to my wife and be with her, I'm gonna have to redo. Yeah, what does it really mean? What? You know what I'm saying? It's just not making sense to me, yo. It's not making sense to me. Every straight man in the world knows that if you don't love your wife, or whenever you see your wife, she doesn't, brighten your day. Yeah, you can have moments where y'all have disagreements, but your disagreements don't over or outweigh your happiness to see her. You out at war, you come back, you see your wife, you happy as shit to see your wife. Y'all gotta see my wife. Y'all might be I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see her smell, her embrace, her this. You want to see your fucking wife. And if you have children, you want to see your children too. So it's just not just randomly, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm good. It's been a long time since you've seen her. Why are you saying you good? You not good. Go see your wife. But my brothers and stuff, then why the fuck you drunk? Why the fuck is you drunk? You full of food and you drunk. You could have went and invited your wife to the spot. You could have been eating and drinking with her. And she could have guided your drunk ass back in the house, unloosed your shackles and all that stuff, and then sucked your dick off, rolled your dick while you was drunk. You bust a nut, she could have got pregnant, whatever the case. But we know the situation because we read the story already, so we know. But if we were living in that time, that's what we thinking. Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? All these men laying down, ready to go. You like, nah, I'm gonna lay down here and ease myself. I could not do that, yo. Like, if I had time to spend with my wife, I'm gonna spend time with my wife, yo. Well, else why the fuck would I marry my wife if I don't want to see her? It's like I just said that shit. You got to give me an Israelite wife. Like, you knew that Bathsheba was the wife's destiny because you connected to some evil shit. So you knew, so you wanted to block it. No, give me an Israelite wife. Well, I could have just gave you any kind of wife, but you asked for which one? Bathsheba, that one. Okay. I'm not realizing that you realizing that she's my destiny, but you realized she was my destiny before I did, because it's some shit from before we came to earth. And now you block me from getting her, so now I got to go through all of this crazy ass shit just to win her back. It's crazy, yo. It's crazy. So that's the Watt situation, you know. My situation is kind of similar, but when I realized Kylie, I was on it. But I didn't know who the Kardashians were at first. So I didn't know who they were at first. But only when the flight took place in 2015 and she popped her ankle and I had to heal her ankle so that she can keep running. She broke her whole ankle running to overexerting herself. Popped her ankle trying to keep up. But when I didn't see her face. I just saw a bird person, you know, a marble girl. And I'm like, okay, you know, long as you keep riding, I'll keep riding. But then it came out that it was Kylie Jenner. Some funny way, when I looked at her in one of the pictures, when she, you know, she had I never knew who they were. Like I said, it's my first time ever seeing Kylie Jenner. My first time ever seeing Kylie Jenner. And then I started looking at all of them. Okay, this is a girl named Chloe. Okay, this is Kendall. I'm struggling with who they were. Okay, Courtney. Okay, I know who Kim is because Ray J and shit. I only from a long time ago. You know, and my friend was the one who gave me that. He was like, yo, you got to see this. I wasn't asking to see that. You know, I didn't know any of them. But then I started looking at it. And this was 2019. 2019. The first time I ever seen Kylie Jenner ever was 2019. You see what I'm saying? So the first time I seen Kylie, I knew it was her. Like, oh, snap, that's her. Then I started looking at more stuff. Then I seen the picture where she was butt-ass naked with the hat on and she had the anklet on. I said, oh, that's her. That's the marble girl. So my eyes are open and I see her. Oh, shit. That's her. The girl that I'm in flight with. She famous and shit. Oh, my God. I'm never going to be able so like, oh, my God, I'm never going to be able to reach her. I'm never going to be able to be around her. I said, that shit dead, her. That's dead. You know how that fame and shit go. That fame and money and shit. Is she a billion Forbes? Oh, my fucking God. We never going to be able to seal the vow. Because, like, she's famous. I'm not famous. I'm a regular ass cable working guy and shit. Up and down roller coaster ass guy in the physical world. So she ain't gonna recognize me. This how it's gonna be. That's why I just knew it wasn't gonna happen. I'm like, damn. I'm like, well, as long as she keep on taking her steps, I'm good. That's what I was saying when I first saw her. As long as she keeps taking her steps, I'm good. But she famous and shit, like on the Forbes billionaire. I'm like, fuck out of here. She is not gonna believe nothing. Oh, I'm the guy. Everybody say they the guy. So I'm like, man, fuck it. Already gonna be like, nah, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Then there's like Travis Scott. And then this, I'm like, damn, Travis Scott, he taller. Okay, she look like I'm looking at all this shit like, man, I don't know. Got children already. This, that. I'm like, man, oh man, I'm not believing it's gonna happen. Even now, I'm not believing it's gonna happen, but I do believe there's a connection. There's like a metaphysical connection, and it's gonna stay metaphysical, but I have low hope in that it being how it's supposed to be. Crazy. But I never stopped making sure that I was informing everybody as I was going along so that it won't look like I'm brushing off my destiny and shit. It's crazy. It's destined that we be together because we're together in the bunker and we only survive by learning how to be intimate with each other. And through permission of the Most High, we were supposed to be intimate, you know, so that we can have, like, it's like eating. We needed to have energy exchange. And without parents, what do we do? Because when you have your parents are your first energy exchange. And you leave your mother and your father to get married. So we had to do that in order to survive. So the pain wouldn't be so much. But it didn't work, as to say, in a sense where when your parents blossom you, we were still unblossomed. So it's like kids pants rubbing type shit. That's what it was like. But the intimacy was still good enough that we were able to grow pieces of ourselves. And some of her feathers were able to grow and stuff and sprout and stuff. One of the feathers was Kendall. Okay? So we were able to grow and sprout and stuff, but it's just, man. It's just too much, yo. So once I remembered those things after seeing Kylie, I remember exactly who she was. The memories. We in Jerusalem. Grandma Shekinah glory is shining at the top in the sky, shining down on the whole place. You know, and there's nobody out there. Everybody's outside in the deep, dark space, going to war and shit, and we in bunkers trapped. It's just me and Kylie in the bunker, laying on the bed, trying to huddle up and cuddle up, because we ain't got nothing else. Dreaming. This whole physical world is a fucking dream. That's serious, right? We're dreaming. Dreams can be that real when you come out your body and you feel that shit. Out of body experiences. That's what it was like. That's what it's more like. But just had to show y'all that you can live your whole life thinking one thing and not realize that this one thing that you kept passing by all the time, you never realized it until your eye opened up and was like, oh shit. And now you fucked up. You know, this, that, and third. You eating what, you fucked up. You got leprosy, your body getting fucked up, the Most High fucking you up, grandma cut you off and shit. Because you realized too late that this was your destiny. This person was your destiny. You were supposed to be with this person because you always were with this person. And there's no such thing as divorce. In Earth, people made up the thing divorce. But originally, before Earth, and also in the beginning of Earth, there's no such thing as divorce. Your marriage vows it surpasses the divorce. In marriage, you become one person, one entity, one being, and you operate together. You're one body part, or one body. So it's like, in order for you to divorce, you would have to kill yourself. That's what it's like, because you're one body. So people not realizing that. In Earth, you don't realize that because your flesh don't meld together. So you don't realize that when you make marriage vows, you're one body, one being, one entity. So yeah, that's crazy. So, yeah, man. With that said, I just wanted to say that, share that with y'all to kind of give you that Uriah logic. That's the Uriah logic. That it's crazy. All that he did, Now, I'm not saying he was an ultimately bad person. I'm just saying what he did here and the relationship he had with his wife and the relationship he had with Dawad, it was funny. Because it seemed like he more so had a love towards Dawad more than his wife. And he'd rather be around Dawad than his wife. Like, if he could spend his last moments with someone, it would be the king instead of his wife. It's crazy. Did he also know that Dawad knew Bathsheba? Because maybe Dawad and Bathsheba knew each other when they were young. And Uriah could have noticed that. And so when he asked for Israelite, his wife, he probably was already destined to try to block him from her, noticing it. They would, because a lot of people noticed Dawad and had it out for him, trying to block him from shit, like trying to block him from being king, block him from being anointed. People were masters of the Torah and shit, trying to say shit. Oh, he's from the stock of the Moabites and stuff, and it's only accepted for women to come back into the congregation, but men can never ever come into the congregation forever, but women can. So it's like, it was even a time with that they were talking about that. So they tried to exclude Dawad from being king because he came through Ruth, a Moabitess. but men Moabites. You know what I'm saying? Men Moabites are not accepted. It was that argument, but it didn't work because Shemuel was like, nah, what you talking about? You trying to like make women above men or something? What the fuck are you doing? Sound like you just want to have sex or you just want pussy or some shit. Oh, we could, the pussies can come, but dicks can't come. What kind of favoritism shit is y'all on? So, men are more precious than women in the sight of the Most High, because men have to hold the Torah. The Most High deals with the men, because the head of the man is the Most High. After you graduate from the Savior, the head of the man is the Savior. Then this, but the day will come where no longer will you come to the Savior. You will go to the Most High Father directly yourself. So yeah, but still, it's crazy, yo. But I just wanted to say all that, yo. And with that said, shalom. If there's anything else I need to say, I'll just say it later, man. But shalom.